For years, she had undergone grueling training, learning both the art of combat and means of communicating with beings beyond. Welcome to Read a Story Legends with me, LeilaFox. Hey, welcome to Raid Story Legends. I am LeilaFox. This is a weekly YouTube series where I share lore from some of our favorite champs from Raid Shadow Legends. This week, the story I want to share with you is for Kreela Witch-Arm. I thought she would be appropriate this week considering it is also Raid's 2nd anniversary, and Kreela happens to be the champ that you can get fragments for, along with some of the other champs as well. Here is the story for Kreela, and I hope you enjoy. As a daughter of a dying tribe, Kreela's early life was marked by loss and hopeless struggle. Her people were taken from their lands again and again by their rivals, by neighboring humans, even by the restless dead that at times rose amid the sands of the Kroken Desert. When her parents fell to the blades of slavers, she found herself chained and dragged away with the rest of the cattle. Her fate was uncertain and grim. But there was yet a glimmer of hope, for an elderly orc shaman saw the potential in a desperate and malnourished girl. Though the slavers were loath to give away one of their captives to the old man, they could not argue with the demands of their tribe's spiritual leader without incurring severe consequences. Thus they relented, and Kreela became apprenticed to her savior. For years, she had undergone grueling training, and learned both the art of combat and the means of communion with the beings beyond. Through the use of meditation, chanting, and carefully brewed herbal concoctions, she could reach out to the spirits of the land and the long-dead orcs. She walked among them at times and channeled their otherworldly strength to empower herself and the warriors in her charge. But Kreela had never forgotten the evils done to her and her kin, not even when she was accepted as a full member of the tribe. Long has she waited, plotting in secret and greedily gathering every bit of knowledge she could in the service of her mentor. It was not until he passed away that she struck, for while her blood demanded vengeance, she too had to honor the shaman's kindness. Kreela gave a speech among his funeral pyre, calling for unity and expansion of the tribe's domain. The spirits had ordained it, she claimed. In reality, she sought to enact her own will rather than follow dreams and visions. With the help of younger tribesmen loyal to her, she orchestrated a series of omens that all led to her designs being fulfilled. Slowly, she gathered the honored and eldered warriors, all of whom she knew were in the raiding party that captured her all those years ago, and set them to a task she knew was impossible. The signs that Kreela claimed to have seen were false, and the warriors fell upon a much greater foe with no hope of success. Many perished in the attempt, and those who survived were slain by Kreela's own minions as they retreated. Back in the village, Kreela manipulated events to see the families of the slain ruined and left with no means to survive. They were taken into servitude under the new shaman's own authority, and though it was much less cruel than what she had endured herself, her vengeance was nonetheless complete and ruthless. It was then Kreela finally turned her gaze to expanding her influence. And while she was not above manufacturing her own prophecies when need be, her shamanic foresight remains no less genuine for it. With her revenge complete, nothing stopped Kreela from sending her tribe to battle the barbaric human neighbors that vied with them for territory and limited resources. To further cement her reputation, Kreela led the raiding party herself. She used her arcane abilities to empower the orcish warriors and drive them to greater heights of brutish courage and violence. Though the Nor they had faced on that day were mighty in their own right, the orcs proved to be stronger. They overcame the defenses, cut their way through the barbarian fighters, and cheered when Kreela herself had slain the enemy shaman in a duel of blade and magic. The sight of her standing over the fallen foe, her arm covered in blood, and burning with eldritch fire, was what gave Kreela her moniker, Witch-Arm. It was under that name she became known to all surrounding tribes, and it was that name that inspired fear and respect among her fellow orcs in equal measure. So this is the story for Kreela Witch-Arm. What I really like about this story is it starts out rather sad. It starts out with the fact that her family and her tribe they're in a very unfortunate position where no matter what happens, they're constantly overrun, and she ends up becoming captured. But then we have this shaman that has mercy on her and sees that she has abilities, and he teaches her. And so then what she does, being intelligent and being the leader that she is she's able to use these abilities, and exactly what it says here is that she manipulates things to the way that it should be, which in her situation, that's another kind of combat tactic, right? She was trying to outsmart her opponents, and in the end, that's what led her be able to take over the tribe and to be able to expand her influence and also fight barbarians and any other foes that may be surrounding around as well too. I like this story because it is a little bit different than some of the other stories. A lot of them just talk about clashes and battles and fighting. This one does talk a bit about the mental strategy that she put into what she did and how this attributed to her success. Thank you so much for watching the story for Kreela. I would love to know what you guys think. Leave me some comments down below. If you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing, hitting the like, and leaving me a comment. All of that greatly helps the YouTube channel to grow, and it helps other people to see the story for Kreela as well. I hope you enjoyed this story as much as I did, and I can't wait to share my next Raid Story Legends with you. Thanks for watching.